What are you doing?
Playing Street Fighter 5. I'm really into Smash right now. Oh, you think you're good? Because you're good with long.
How are you doing that?
Come on, Ken. Come on. When you think you got this? Oh, no, you don't.
Don't hog the thing. Give it here. Hey guys, welcome to What to Watch on 3. I'm Peyton Fretwell as always.
And I'm Christopher Gates. It's good to see you, Peyton. It's good to see you myself. A little disclaimer, I actually just want to get this out there. We actually recorded this episode yesterday, but technical difficulties due to a certain someone who forgot to turn the microphone volume on actually recorded. Christopher Gates. Yeah, we're bringing this to you today on a Friday.
For the second time.
Second time.
Yeah.
So we're actually more prepared this time.
Yeah.
So, and we hear ourselves, so that's even better.
Yeah. For a movie that was coming out the next day.
Yeah.
Is now coming out today.
Yeah.
The Witch.
Yeah, The Witch with 2 V's.
Which is a horror movie that comes out today, rated R. It's written and directed by Robert Eggers. We're really excited. Well, I feel a little more excited about this movie considering I'm a huge horror fan. And I'm really into those psychological horrors that The Witch promises to be.
You got me into it because of the fact that not just the horror aspect, but the
Right.
character development aspect. And for this Eggers' directorial debut,
Yeah.
everything that we've read so far, review-wise on Rotten Tomatoes, it's been, what's that, 80-something, 88% right now?
88% on
So
Rotten
it's
Tomatoes.
doing very well. So if you want to check out, I think, a good suspenseful, hopefully a good suspenseful movie,
Yeah.
we're going to try, I can't talk right now. We're going to see that this weekend. We're going to do our best to make sure and have a review it for you next week. But what are your thoughts on this so far?
I'm really excited about this movie mainly because what Justin Chang from Chief Film Critic on Variety.com said that this movie seems like it's going to be a cross between The Crucible, The Shining, and a little smattering of The Exorcist. Now, those are all great movies, and if it's half as good as one of those movies, then this is a successful film. I can't see it's contagious.
It's
now
contagious.
I can't
It
talk.
does. It happens to both of us. We
But
have no idea.
what excites me about this is it seems a return to form for the movies that we're seeing coming out in the past few years, these psychological horrors.
Those
Now,
are
the
great.
thing I like about good horror movies, the movies that last generations, the legendary horror movies, they last longer than just the night you go see them. They're better than your typical jump scare movies to go see on a date night. They stick with you because they scare something about humanity. They're saying something, and
I like that. That's something we really haven't seen a lot, especially one of our favorite ones that we saw was It Follows, which is an excellent movie. It has the way it does its horror. It does it not with just cheap jump scares and little thrills like that. It actually does it with character development. It's a suspense. It's a horror movie, but it's one where the elements is what really surprised you the most.
Right.
What the characters are going to do, that's what's so scary. And this movie being set in the 1600s, with everything that happened with the Salem witch trials, this is in New England, and their appearance and family, you can guess, this being about a witch, what this is about. Yeah.
And though The Witch isn't going to have exactly the soundtrack It Follows has, maybe less electronic music.
A little less electronic, less 8-bit,
I've actually listened to the score of this film, and if the score is used correctly in this film, it's going to be a nightmare because just the score by itself, listening to it without any context, is still just. It's going to be a scary sounding movie.
It's going to be a scary sounding movie, yeah, just on the top of that. And that right there itself, it's one thing to already have the elements, but when you got the sound that goes with it, because like It Follows, it played perfectly. You had no idea. When the music was playing, you knew like, oh man, wow, I need to be in tune.
This movie we said, it follows this Puritan family who have kind of gone out on their own in this wilderness, and the newborn son mysteriously vanishes, and the family is looking at each other like, how did this happen? And some, anxiety and some ambiguity, other A words.
The other A words that come with it. You know what you're saying. We got the thesaurus. You don't have to outsmart us. No, actually, that's one of the things, one of my favorite plays and books and movies I've seen, The Crucible. And I dealt with the Salem witch trial. This reminds me of that same aspect with the same setting, the same I wouldn't say philosophies, but just the setting of witches, people believing in black magic, mysterious things that happen.
That was the great thing about that time, was you didn't really know when it came to the supernatural what was scientifically based and what was supernatural.
Yeah,
so it was that not knowing, and them being so religious really went into all this paranoia and what made this time period such a scary time.
And everything that we've heard about the movies, from like you said, Justin Chang, where he talked about it being a mix between The Crucible, The Shining, and The Exorcist, with good measure. Yeah. That's, if you're one out of those 3 movies, that's fantastic.
And if that wasn't enough, Stephen King went on Twitter. He apparently saw the movie, and he said, "The Witch scared the hell out of me, and it's a real movie, tense and thought-provoking as well as visceral."
You can see the tweet right there on your screen.
Yeah.
And if Stephen King, which many would consider the master of horror, is sitting here saying that this movie did that to him, that says a lot. Given
that's an endorsement. And the key phrase that excites me in that movie, in that quote, is it's a real movie. And it's thought-provoking. And like I said earlier, that's what good horror is made of.
Yeah.
It's not just your typical guts and, teenagers making poor decisions.
Yeah.
But that is definitely part. Yeah. It's definitely part of that. Some of those legendary movies have that in it.
They do.
But, they don't rely on it.
It's refreshing, because the one thing about the horror trope that always gets me is that it does get kind of cliche. It gets to the point that sometimes
full of cliches.
I start watching, I'm just like, I already know. I remember years ago, I took my cousin to go see Freddy versus Jason.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't expect anything.
That's one of my guilty pleasures. I love Freddy versus Jason.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it in the theater. There's some scenes I definitely enjoy. but I remember, but I remember seeing it and sitting there watching it, and I remember just like, I could just see it beat by beat what was going to happen, what was the next element, and hopefully when we see The Witch, it is what the people are telling us it is about. That it is. It's very thought-provoking. It has a lot of character development, and you want to get engrossed in what's going on, not just the characters, but even just the mystery surrounding it. Because good, like you said, horror movies, you want to know what the history, what you want to know what is surrounding it.
Yeah.
That's what you felt about The Shining, and that's what you felt about even The Exorcist and It Follows, and a number of other fine movies in that genre.
All we want is a good movie. That's all we want.
Really,
and that's what good directors do. They start with a story, and then they just make a good movie. And if it turns out to be a scary movie, then great. But you can't start a movie out with, let's see how many scary parts we can put in it, because then the whole doesn't make a good movie.
It doesn't. It is, like I said, hopefully that's what we're going to get. We're definitely looking forward to this. Once again, I thank my co-host over here, Peyton Fretwell, for telling me about it, because I actually had no idea until he showed me the trailer. I was like, oh yeah, we have to.
You were playing Street Fighter V.
I was playing Street Fighter V. I was really into that. You have no idea. It's broken, but I don't care.
Yeah, you broke it. Darn you, Japan.
Darn you. Darn you, Cammy players.
And this movie must be pretty good, because they've already placed Eggers, or there are rumors placing Eggers with the remake to Nosferatu.
Yeah, Deadline's been reporting it. A few other credible websites have been saying that. And if he does a Nosferatu remake, man, if this is in the same vein as this, I mean,
Nosferatu is one of those movies that I can see being remade. It was made the original was made in 1922. I think it's about time we could add a little modernness to it, as long as it's not made into one of those movies that we talked about earlier.
Of course. In the wake of remakes today, like, I don't know, remaking the Spider-Man series, even though the original trilogy hadn't been 10 years old at that time,
We've had 3 Spider-Mans in the past, 10 years?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. So, Hollywood, if you're taking note, let him do Nosferatu and let him be good with it. So, because he will do a good job.
So far, we've only got one Nosferatu.
Yeah, that's so far.
In what? 100 years?
100 years. Yeah,
almost 100 years.
We could probably name at least 10 off the top of our head, 10 movies that have had Dracula appeared in it.
Yeah.
And countless number of books.
It's time for a new
movies.
vampire.
So, yeah, it's time. Let's go ahead and do it. Blade 3 was terrible. So, let's go ahead.
Yeah.
So,
so that's all we had to say about The Witch. Like we said, we haven't seen it yet, but all signs are pointing that it's going to be a good movie. And if you'd like to see our review of it, that's coming soon. If you'd like to see our other reviews, you can check down below. All our other videos. You can check out all the latest movie news and polls and questions on our trivia, our Twitter at WRBL What to Watch.
There's a little super right there. You'll see it. Look at that. Ooh,
and you can also check us out on Facebook and YouTube.
Of course, Facebook, YouTube,
all that.
All the other elements. And speaking of which, trivia, that is something that we will.
Yeah, trivia is coming really soon, guys.
We got some of that stuff coming up, so you'll be really excited. So, stay tuned next week for episodes, reviews, and everything else that we got coming down the pipeline.
And if you'd like to send us some movie news or just tell us how much you like our videos, like I said, go to our Twitter page and let us know with the hashtag W2W, what to watch.
Of course, anytime.
Yeah. So, I guess there's nothing else to do.
There's nothing else to do except goodbye. He's Peyton Fretwell, and I'm Christopher Gates. Thanks for watching.
Peace.
Watch them. They're good. Not really.
Okay.
That's important.
Not really. You're not really.
He doesn't know it, but that's going to be the close.
Yeah.